Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us on the news briefing for this Wednesday. Phase 1 delinking of batteries at the Moss Landing Vistra power plant is continuing its progress. We're going to start our briefing today to get an update from our colleagues at the US EPA, Ric Sandusky, about how that is going out there at the site. Hi, Ric. Thanks very much for being on the briefing today.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thanks again for having me at this briefing. My name is Ric Sandusky, and I'm a federal on-scene coordinator with the US EPA, and I'm here to give an operational update of the Moss Landing cleanup. Battery delinking or disconnecting work continues, and we've now delinked about 60% of accessible batteries, which are all in the facility where the January 16th fire and February 18th reignition occurred. Disconnecting these damaged batteries from one another reduces potential fire and health risks because this lessens the chances of a thermal runaway. However, given the damage at the facility and that the remaining batteries are still linked together in racks, we know that it is likely that other flare-ups will occur. EPA, local agencies, and Vistra are prepared to respond if that happens. North County Fire Protection District has been in communication with Vistra and EPA since the initial fire and will be the first responding agency should another flare-up occur. The remaining batteries are near damaged parts of the building, and right now those areas are not safe to enter, as demolition of the damaged building must occur prior to us proceeding with delinking the rest of the batteries in the building. Vistra is responsible for securing a contractor to perform this demolition. EPA's goal is to protect the community's health and the surrounding environment, so we've developed procedures to isolate the batteries safely and carefully. At the same time, we're doing this work as quickly as we can. Air monitoring operations by Vistra's contractor are still being performed 24/7 and will continue throughout this process. Vistra has contracted a private fire brigade and will provide updates to both the local fire department and EPA should anything occur at the site. EPA has also tasked Vistra to develop additional health and safety plans for on-site actions, emergency response plans, and operational procedures to reduce the threat of releases on site. Thank you, and I'll stick around for answers to answer any questions at the end.
Ric, thank you so much for that. And I just want to let people know also that we have Brad Watson, who is the Senior Director of Community Affairs at Vistra. He is also on this call, and he's available to answer questions that you might have. If there are any questions for Ric or any of our presenters, you're welcome to put them in chat, or you can raise your hand. In the meantime, I'm going to turn to Ric Encarnacion, who is with our County of Monterey Environmental Health, who's going to talk about the continuing work that they are doing at the site.
Thank you, Maya. Good afternoon, everybody. Ric Encarnacion, Director of Environmental Health, County of Monterey, your local health inspectors. And we'd like the public to know that the Environmental Health Bureau, or EHB, continues to work with our state and federal partners like Ric, with the US EPA, to ensure proper cleanup and accountability. So far, the work is moving along, as you've heard through Ric, and I don't foresee any barriers in my way to get the job done, to be honest. We also want the public to know to stay alert, stay informed. We do have our official information page at readymontereycounty.org. readymontereycounty.org. Ready Monterey County is one word, .org. And at the top of that page is a yellow banner that says, if you want more information about the Vistra fire, click here, you click here, and it'll take you to a page that is updated. It is constantly monitored and reviewed and has a lot of good official information. So I will also put in the chat where if anybody has any complaints or concerns, it can be shown on the screen here, where you could submit an online form or give us a call and leave a message, because this information page also serves to provide us information so that we're connected with you all in the field. And with that, I'll stand by for any questions. Thank you very much.
Ric, did we lose you?
No, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
Ric, we're not hearing you.
I can hear him. It sounds like we're having some technical difficulties in the sea cave room. May, are you able to hear? All right, Ric, thank you for that report. I did share my screen earlier that showed the the website that you're referring to. Let me share it again for anybody who might have missed that. It sounds like we're having a little technical glitch
No,
in our.
no trouble. No,
Oh,
no, we're good, Nick.
Okay, all right, I'll be quiet. Take
Oh,
over.
no, and thank you. We just had just a momentary thing, but I always appreciate knowing you've got my back on this one. For sure. Any questions? So we had Nick, we had Rick speaking about their current efforts. Are there any questions for Eric with the US EPA, or Brad Watson from Vistra, or Ric Encarnacion from Environmental Health? So I do have our first question, and we can go ahead and stop sharing the screen for the moment. This question is for Brad Watson. Brad, what is the timeline for demolishing the Moss Landing building so the EPA can access the batteries?
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, Maya. If you might, going forward, who is asking the question, and are they a legitimate new media or legacy media entity or outlet, please? Because I don't know who's always asking.
So this is Till Dalrup from Hunter, I believe it's Hunter Brook. I apologize. Hunter Brook Media, who has been on our briefing before.
And the question is on the timeline for demolition.
Yes.
At this point, we are focused, as Eric has mentioned, on the delinking. We have a demolition, we're considering demolition vendors at this time. And so we're going to be very methodical on how to move through this process, since it's not been done on this scale before. So there's not going to be, for a while, a schedule, if you will. But I would say broadly, think of months and not weeks.
Thank you very much for that. Any other questions for any of our participants today? We want to make sure that we get any questions in before we go on to our next topics. So I'm giving a second for anything to come in, and I am seeing none. Thank you all for this quick update. I know a lot of people want to hear each week about what's going on, so we really appreciate it. And if any questions do come in, we will forward them to you for a response. Nick and Rick showed our emergency incident page, which has been updated earlier, and we wanted to walk you through it again because there has been some updates to the page which make it a lot easier to use. And so we're showing how you can get there, which you can go to countyofmonterey.gov, which is our county homepage, and then the yellow banner that Rick mentioned is up there, and you click on here. And here comes the current emergency information page. And this page has been there all along since the incident began, but it has been updated to be easier to use. And we wanted to show you this. Much of the same information is there, but there is more of it, and it's more organized. So there are FAQs for questions that people might have that we get on a regular basis. There is access to testing information if you're looking for that. And the next box is debris removal, which we haven't gotten to yet, but when that time comes, that information will be there. And then people have often asked about resources. Where can they go for additional information? And that is in that box. We also want to mention the survey, and the survey is our final box. This is a community health survey, which is being done by our public health division, and it is still open for responses. It's about a 5-minute survey, and it doesn't collect any personal information, and it's looking for people's things that they have experienced since the incident occurred. And it's online. It is either in English or in Spanish, and it is open until March 14th. So we encourage anyone who was impacted by the incident to go ahead and complete the survey, and then we will be sharing the results when they become available. No other questions Oh, we do have a question. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are still here. While you're here, we do have a question from KSBW. Can you explain the delinking process you mentioned? Does that pertain to the batteries? And I believe yes, but Eric, you might be able to share a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks for the question. So the delinking process is basically disconnecting the battery modules from one another. And this reduces the amount of electricity that's available to each battery module. And with the reduced amount of electricity available, the threat of thermal runaway is decreased, so that you don't have such a large fire. And it does pertain to the battery modules. So yes, that, I hope that answered your question. If not, let me know and I can go a different route there.
Christina, I hope that answers your question. You can, if you have a follow-up question, you're welcome to put it in chat, or you can give me a thumbs up that was good. I'm gonna take silence as a thumbs up. Any last questions for any of our presenters on this topic? And seeing none, thank you again. Thank you for staying on just that last minute for that last question. We really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you all next week for another update. Moving on, when you pump gas or you shop or you weigh anything before you buy it, you have the staff at our Agricultural Commissioner's Office to thank for getting what you pay for. The Ag Commissioner's Office is also the sealer of weights and measures in the Monterey County, and staff there make sure that commercial devices are accurate when you use them. We're very pleased to have Tim Lewis here from the Ag Commissioner's Office to talk about the importance of weights and measures. Hi, Tim. Thanks very much for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me. What a great introduction. I got a little PowerPoint presentation that I just wanted to share with everybody, so let me get that lined up and make sure I am doing it correctly. Hopefully everybody's seeing that PowerPoint presentation. And as I go, great, fantastic. So again, thank you for having me here today. My name is Tim Lewis, and I am the Chief Deputy Agricultural Commissioner managing the Weights and Measures Division here at the Agricultural Commissioner's Office. I've been with the department for 14 years, working in both weights and measures and agricultural programs. Each year, the first week of March is designated as National Weights and Measures Week. This week is meant to commemorate President John Adams' signing of the first United States Weights and Measures Law on March 2nd, 1799. To promote National Weights and Measures Week here in Monterey County, I will be giving you a bit of insight into our Weights and Measures Division and highlighting the important role it plays in consumer protection and ensuring equity in the marketplace. The Agricultural Commissioner's Office is the primary local enforcement agency for state agricultural laws and regulations. All 58 counties in California have an agricultural commissioner and sealer of weights and measures office or representation. In Monterey County, it wasn't until 1982 that the Weights and Measures Division became physically housed within the Agricultural Commissioner's Office. But it retained a separate sealer of weights and measures for almost another 20 years. Then in 2001, the deputies of the Agricultural Commissioner and the sealer of weights and measures were combined into one position. Our office has 5 major divisions, as you can see on the slide, and weights and measures is one of them. The work performed by weights and measures officials touches the lives of all the residents and visitors in Monterey County and is considered to be one of the oldest efforts of consumer protection. Our primary function as weights and measures officials is to ensure fair and honest competition amongst industry and to provide consumers with accurate value comparison. County inspectors work behind the scenes to protect both the buyer and the seller from malfunctioning devices or from unfair marketing practices. Because of the inspections and investigations conducted by our weights and measures officials, consumers can shop with confidence. Weights and measures are some of the earliest tools used by humans. Early units of measures came from parts of the body and people's surroundings. Measures of length came from the forearm, hand, or finger. Seeds, grains, and stones were used for weights. The time was measured by periods of the sun, moon, and other heavenly bodies. However, these weights and measures were not always the same. For instance, seeds, stones, and people's hands are different sizes or weights. As civilizations developed, it became necessary to make weights and measure standards to make sure people didn't get cheated. The standard became the one all of the others had to match. It also became necessary to have weights and measures officials. The officials made sure everyone follows the rules and no one gets cheated. Weights and measures officials are so important, it is believed that they were probably around before police and firefighters. The County of Monterey Weights and Measures staff is comprised of 5 weights and measures inspectors, a deputy sealer, and the sealer of weights and measures. The weights and measures staff enforce the laws and regulations of the 4 weights and measures programs. These programs are device enforcement, price verification and quantity control, petroleum products, and Weighmaster. I'm going to give you a brief highlights on each of these programs. The device enforcement program is responsible for reducing measurement error in commercial transactions through the regular inspection and testing of commercial weighing and measuring devices. Here in the county of Monterey, we have just under 14,000 commercial weighing and measuring devices that get tested routinely by our weights and measures inspectors. Our inspectors ensure the commercial devices are not only suitable for the application intended, they also test the device to ensure it meets the required specifications and tolerances for the device type and ensure it has been installed properly per manufacturer specifications. If you see the County of Monterey seal on a commercial device, it means that its accuracy was verified. Devices found to be out of compliance with standards are ordered out of service and cannot be used until corrected by the owner or by an authorized repair company. Common weighing devices include computing scales found in grocery stores, delis, and farmers markets. Other weighing devices not often noticed by the general public are livestock scales, vehicle scales, and platform scales at airports. Common measuring devices include retail motor fuel dispensers at gas stations, water dispensers, and taximeters. Other measuring devices not often noticed by the general public include submeters installed at mobile home parks and apartments, retail liquid petroleum gas meters, and parking meters. Just like any other county department, we receive our fair share of complaints. 76% of the complaints we receive are for commercial weighing and measuring devices. 73% of those are measuring devices and 3% are weighing devices. Of the 73%, 53% of those are for retail motor fuel dispensers. The second program we're going to talk about is Device Verification and Quantity Control Program. Californians spend about $3 billion in commodities that are subject to price verification and quantity control inspections each year. The assurance of full weight and measure and the elimination of fraud and misrepresentation has been objectives from the beginning of quantity determinations. The price verification and quantity control program fulfills this objective by monitoring commerce at all levels, retail, wholesale, and manufacturing, in order to minimize measurement errors and representations for both packaged and over-the-counter sales, and to ensure the accuracy of commodity, quantity, and pricing. Price verification and quantity control have 3 main responsibilities. The first is price verification. Our inspectors routinely conduct price verification inspections to ensure the accuracy in pricing commodities, ensuring that the purchaser is correctly charged the stated or advertised price of an item. The California Business and Professions Code 12024.2 states that the correct price of any item is the lowest posted, quoted, or advertised price for which the buyer qualifies. Posted or advertised prices do not withstand any time period limitations for which the post price is in effect. It's the store's responsibility to remove expired sale signs and update old shelf tags. During pricing inspections, our staff often find violations of California's Business and Professions Code 122.4.6, which prohibits advertising intended to entice a customer into a transaction other than represented. Violations of this code consist of the businesses offering consumers free items with purchase. However, when rung up at the system, when checking out, the system did not give the free item as specified. An example of this is buy one, get one free sales. The second responsibility is packaged inspections. Whenever you purchase a commodity, you're paying for the usable product weight or volume only. The weight should exclude any tears such as wrapping paper, a plate, or a container. If the quantity statement is by volume, then it should not include headspace. Additionally, the package must not be deceptive. Packages may not have a false bottom or a raised cover volume, which means additional volume which was added to the internal container to make it seem as though more product is in the package than there is. Also, packages may not be oversized or slack-filled. Consumers tend to use the package itself as visual representation to assume how much of the commodity they are purchasing. Although reasonable allowances are given, our inspectors conduct package inspections to verify packages meet their stated net quantity and to ensure packages are not deceptive. Packages that do not meet their stated net quantity or do not have a declared quantity statement are ordered off-sale, and businesses are given the opportunity to fix the issue. Packages will be released for sale if they are corrected. The third responsibility for the price verification and quantity control is labeling. Our weights and measures inspectors enforce the Fair Packaging and Labeling Act to provide potential customers with information needed to compare values and to prevent unfair and deceptive packaging practices. Packages have three basic labeling requirements: identity, responsibility, and quantity. Identity is the usual or common name of the commodity that must be on the package. Responsibility is the name and address of the company or individual responsible for the package and its contents. And the quantity is the net quantity of the commodity in the package. This statement must be in the lower 30% of the principal display and has size requirements that are based on the principal display of the package. Along with the complaints that we get, as I mentioned earlier, 76% was due to weighing and measuring devices. 20% of our complaints we receive are for inspections that fall under the price verification and quantity control program. I don't know if you guys are still seeing my slide, but something got messed up.
Yes, we're still seeing your slide. Oh, now it's moved.
Okay.
Now you have a new slide.
All right.
It says Waymaster.
It jumped ahead a couple of slides, so I will try to catch up to where I is. For whatever reason, it's not moving backwards. The next program that we work in is the petroleum products program. Under the petroleum program, we regulate the labeling and advertising of petroleum products. This is to ensure both the seller and the buyer have the appropriate information and identification of the petroleum product purchased. We ensure minimum quality standards are met in the marketplace for most petroleum products, including gasoline, diesel fuel, motor oil, brake fluid, automatic transmission fluid, antifreeze and other coolants, and compressed natural gas. Weights and measures inspectors on occasion sample fuels and other petroleum products and submit samples to the state lab for testing and analysis. Action can be taken locally or at the state level on all samples found to be out of compliance, depending on the circumstances. And the last program that we work is the Weighmaster program. And now we're caught up with our slides. A Weighmaster is an individual or company who weighs, measures, or counts a product and issues a written statement of the quantity which is used as the basis for either the purchase or sale of that product or charge for service. The statement is referred to as a Weighmaster certificate. All Weighmaster certificates are legal documents and are required to have certain information. This program ensures that an official weight document used in commercial transactions is used correctly by a licensed Weighmaster. Periodic inspections by our staff verify the accuracy of the weight, measure, or count stated on these documents. Businesses that are licensed as Weighmasters consist of agricultural processors, livestock feed yards, material yards that sell rock, sand, gravel, and asphalt paving materials, bulk fertilizer cells, and landscape companies that deliver goods. In California, weights and measures laws are found in the Business and Professions Code Division 5. The regulations that further explain these laws are found in the California Code of Regulations, Title 4, Division 9. All weights and measures laws are criminal in nature, and many are strict liability laws. That means that intent is not an element of the crime. The fact that the act occurred is enough to establish a violation of the law. Weights and measures violations are classified as misdemeanors unless otherwise specified in the law as infractions. Misdemeanors are punishable by up to $1,000 and or 6 months in county jail. Infractions are punishable by a fine and do not include jail time. As I stated before, each year, the first week of March is designated as National Weights and Measures Week. The National Council on Weights and Measures proclaimed the 2025 National Weights and Measures theme as Building a Lasting Legacy. It speaks to the meticulous work spanning generations that has forged a system of weights and measures upon which our modern economy relies. This theme underscores the profound impact of establishing a uniform system, not merely as a technical achievement, but as a societal cornerstone. It celebrates the quiet yet vital work of ensuring fairness, fostering confidence, and promoting open trade. It acknowledges that every calibrated scale, every measured transaction contributes to a legacy of equity, one that empowers both businesses and consumers. Building a lasting legacy also honors the human dedication behind the scenes and acknowledges the countless individuals who have contributed to the establishment and maintenance of a uniform system, ensuring fairness and trust in our economy. This theme is a reminder that behind every transaction lies a legacy of precision and integrity built for the benefit of all. I hope the next time you check out at your local grocery store or buy a gallon of gas, you will do so with confidence because now you have a bit more understanding behind the seal that has been fixed on the device by our hardworking county weights and measures staff. Thank you all for your time. And if you ever have any questions regarding county weights and measures, you feel free to call our number or give us send us an email. And that also as well goes for complaints. We always take complaints, and our new county seal, which we are debuting here to the public, has a QR code on it that links to our weights and measures page where a complaint can be filed electronically. Thank you all again.
Tim, thanks so much for walking us through this, and it really a very quick but thorough overview of this. And you can go ahead and stop sharing your screen now. So really, for people who don't know, once you go to the gas station and you see that seal, you won't be able to not see it again. Because once you're sensitized, that it's nice to know somebody is there, watching out for the consumer. And really, your staff is really an unsung consumer hero for people, because with gas over $5 a gallon, for instance, you really want to make sure you get what you pay for. Let me ask you this. What should a consumer do if they find something amiss with what they're purchasing, where not everybody would know, what to look for, but if something seems off with what they're buying, or a cash register receipt doesn't seem to match what they bought?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So, there's a couple different avenues that you can take. Of course, you can always point it out to the cash register person if it's, you're buying something, buy one, get one free, and it doesn't come up. And, if they fix the transaction right there, then, at least the consumer becomes whole. But those should always be, if have the availability to forward those over to our weights and measures office so we can follow up to make sure that their system is changed. A lot of times when you have a buy one, get one free sale, it's all about an update inside of the point of sale system. And if that point of sales, they might fix it for the one person that's there, but what we need to do is to follow up to make sure that the system is inputted to accurately reflect for all the other people that are going to be buying it. Same thing at a gas station. If you go to a gas station, you could have a couple of different issues. You could say, oh, you know what, I don't think I'm getting the correct amount of gas, or I might not be getting the correct gas, or there might be sediment inside of my gas causing engine problems. All of those are complaints that we take that you can file through our office, either through our website, through the email, or giving us a call, and we will follow up with those by conducting opening an investigation and conducting a sample test analysis, and that will go through the state of California to determine whether or not there's any issues with that gasoline. So anytime any issues come up with the weights and measures issue, reach out to our office. If there's something with a point of sale system, please provide the receipt so we can see on there what the issue was, so we have proof of that, so we know what we need to go and look for. If it's a gasoline dispensary station, make sure that address and the grade and the date and the time that the purchase was made is the information that we would need to follow up on those.
And then one last question for you. What is the most common complaint or concern that the Weights and Measures office does get?
It's retail motor vehicle fuel dispensers, and it's inside of those, it's generally between sediment and if they're getting the correct gas. So if you're bought a higher octane and you're getting, you're paying for 91 and you think you're only getting 87. So those are the biggest complaints that we get.
Interesting. And thank you so much for sharing your hard work and letting people know that you're out there watching out for them. And I appreciate you being here today.
Thank you for having me. We definitely appreciate getting the word out.
Right. Thank you. And now for our final but last but not least topic, there is still a lot of work being done and to be done to close the digital divide. The California Emerging Technology Fund is working with the County of Monterey to fine-tune outreach to residents who may not know that they qualify for affordable internet services. We're very pleased to have Marissa Canche here with the CETF, and she is going to share more about who is eligible and how we can share that information. Hi, Marissa.
Hi there. Thank you so much. I'm actually ironically experiencing some connection issues myself, so I'm going to go off of camera to hopefully improve my connection here. But thank you so much for the opportunity to share our really great partnership that we have with Monterey County. My name is Marissa Canche, and I'm with the California Emerging Technology Fund. I'm the broadband adoptions director, and my primary role is to work with counties and other institutions throughout the state of California to and make sure that everyone is aware of the opportunity for residents, especially low-income residents, to connect to long-term sustainable internet. As everyone may or may not know, internet service providers throughout the state are offering discounted internet packages. And for folks that qualify to participate in these and sign up into these programs, our job really is to just bring awareness to these opportunities. And so I first just wanted to thank Maya and Sarah House for inviting me to share this information. It's been a wonderful partnership with the county so far. I've been working with the Department of Social Services as well. We hope to be able to do what we call a direct notification out to all CalFresh and Medi-Cal recipients in the county to share information about these low-cost internet offers through either a direct mail approach or there's some type of direct notification, whether it be a flyer distribution or some sort of notification that goes out to those households that would benefit greatly from taking advantage of these offers. What I also just wanted to mention was, and I flashed very quickly, let me try and do that again. In addition to the flyers and the collateral that we've now created for Monterey, we've also created a unique phone number. So on all of the material that has been created, we have made sure to note on there the unique phone number for Monterey County. And what this is CETF has a call center that is staffed by nonprofit organizations throughout the state who are every day, every minute, every hour, helping folks who call into the center to enroll into these offers. We know that a lot of households, especially now, who are reluctant to share information or, reach out to, entities to get information. We know that they're, it's very sensitive information that they are sharing. And so through our call center, our agents are able to establish, sort of an over the phone rapport and relationship with those callers that are calling in, wondering about the low cost internet offers, how to sign up, what are sort of the prerequisites that they need to have in order to qualify for these offers. And our agents are doing a really great job of walking them through that process. Many times they'll even have the opportunity to do a three-way call with the resident and the internet service provider of their choice and help them, go through that enrollment process. That type of support is really critical, especially for households, like I said, who are, kind of a little bit in the dark as far as, how to enroll, into this program. But it also helps eliminate, the sometimes what ends up happening is the upselling that happens on the other end of the call from the ISP agent, who is, trying to get them to buy into a more expensive plan. And so our agents are there to, really advocate for the residents to be able to, stick to the low cost plan, because that's, what's in their budget and what they're able to afford, for themselves and for their families. And so by having this unique phone number or dedicated phone number for Monterey, we're able to then provide back to the county data on, call volume, the number of people that have called in that have asked about the internet offers, those that have actually subscribed to internet. And in addition to that, once we've been able to help facilitate the process of enrollment, we also offer them the opportunity to do digital literacy. And so we've got a couple of programs, both online and in person or virtual Zoom training that residents are able to take advantage of. And so we not only help them enroll into internet, but we also want to make sure that they become digitally proficient. And so we, offer them referrals to that. And if they also express their desire to want to purchase a device, then we have, resources that we can direct them to where they are able to do and purchase a low cost device that fits in their budget. So, our goal really is to provide this holistic approach to becoming digitally connected and really being an active member of the digital world. And we think by, this sort of three-prong approach, connection, device, and literacy, we really feel that that's tackling the digital divide as a whole. And so I just wanted to, thank again the opportunity to be here. This has been and always will be our mission to bridge the digital divide. California is doing a great job at sort of closing that gap. However, there are, several millions of Californians who are still unconnected. And so our goal is to try and reach every single one of them. And by the support of having the county and working with the county, we're able to do that, one household at a time. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity. And I will throw my email in the chat in case anybody has any questions after this call, or would like more information. I'm definitely happy to share.
Marissa, can you share the flyer that you put up just initially?
Sure.
I believe it had that unique phone number on it.
Yes, it did. I'm not sure. Yeah, let me share that one more time. I think you can see it now.
There it is. Well, it's got you are having a few troubles over there, yeah. Ironically. But no, this is great. And I think it's great for people on the other end who are searching for assistance to know who's on the other end taking their call, that they're not going to be upsold, that they're going to get something that they can afford. Do you find that people are surprised to know that they qualify for this, because they may think, well, I may have a job, but I still qualify for other benefits. And they didn't know that if they qualified for SNAP or other services, that they can actually enroll in one of these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the primary programs that is probably the most popular program that makes them eligible for low cost offers is Medi-Cal, CalFresh, and free and reduced lunch for students who attend K through 12. So if a child in the household is on the free and reduced lunch program, then that household qualifies for a low cost offer. And so all the parent would have to do is, simply be able to show proof of eligibility that the child is receiving free and reduced lunch, and then, enroll into a low cost offer, obviously under the adult's name and account and all that. But, they're able to use their child's information for eligibility. So yeah, I definitely think there is a level of they are a little surprised to hear and find out that they do qualify. And that's why it's so important for us CETF to work with institutions like school districts, because I think, by having the school district share that information with parents, it really is coming from a trusted source and a trusted messenger. And so the family and the household are more, less reluctant to, pick up the phone and call into the call center and get more information. So we really do appreciate, the opportunities and the partnerships we've been able to develop with counties, school districts, health organizations, and most recently we actually had the California Department of Social Services, and soon the California Department of Healthcare Services. They've completed their own direct notification to their members throughout the state about these offers. And so by having, this information shared from multiple sources, from the state level to the county level to the school district level, it really does generate, sort of this trust with households to be able to say, okay, I'm confident that this information is reliable, and that I'm able to call this number and get the help I need, and my information is going to be safe and private, and that sort of thing. So yeah, all of that really does make a huge difference.
In relation to something that you mentioned, you said millions of people still are unconnected. So this question came in: how do we then reach these? If there are millions of people, how do we reach these communities who seem to be hard to reach?
That's right. Oh, that is the million-dollar question that we are all trying to tackle, and we're all trying to resolve, is how do we reach those hard to reach households? Because they are the households that are unconnected. They're not, so if someone, let's say a county were to send an email, it really wouldn't reach that particular household because they're unconnected, right? So that's kind of where it's kind of what I just outlined right now, is by having multiple organizations do outreach. It Once, the household sees it from different organizations, different methods of, notification, whether it be something in the mail or something that comes in through an email or something, or a text message that reaches their phone, or, a flyer that they've seen, in the lobby at their, child's school or healthcare, location. All of those different types of advertising, I guess is the best way to put it, really does sort of build this layer of, one, awareness, and then two, coming from all of these trusted messengers, this level of, willingness to at least learn about these affordable offers, and hopefully call the call center and get the help that they need to enroll.
And this reminds me of maybe it was a year, maybe it was 2 years ago, we were doing this Internet for All outreach through libraries. And we had people coming to the libraries because they had no way to enroll at home because they didn't have any devices. But they came to a library, which was familiar to them, a place where their kids would come to do their homework or get tutoring, or they would come for books or audiobooks. And our library staff was helping them enroll into these programs. And that goes to an illustration of your trusted messenger theme.
Yes, absolutely. Doing an in-person enrollment makes a huge difference. What we would refer the library to be as like a digital navigator. A digital navigator is someone who is there to be able to provide information about digital resources, online resources, internet connectivity, and then, of course, to be able to help someone actually, in person enroll into an internet plan. And so, when we have partners like that are doing that type of work, it is a game changer when it comes to, the community and the household being able to finally, find a reliable source to help them into a long-term sustainable solution to having internet in their home. So the digital navigator sort of network is something that our organization is looking to build out. I think nonprofit organizations, who have a focus on digital inclusion efforts, I think are very familiar with what the importance of a digital navigator and what they're able to do and how they're able to transform communities. But it's something that our organization is really going to be focused on in this next year. We received several grants from the state where we're going to be able to do that type of expansion and work. And we're really looking forward to that because we hope that that kind of activity or that kind of service is integrated into a lot of different organizations like the library, like schools, where parents and households know where to go to get that kind of information. If it's not over the phone, they can do something like that in person. So yeah, that's definitely another exciting opportunity CETF is really looking forward to doing this next year.
Thank you so much, Marissa, for walking us through this and sharing this information. And we're going to share that Monterey County unique number as far and wide as we can.
Thank
And
you
we look
so
forward,
much.
and hopefully we'll have you back for some good data
I hope
a
so
year from
too.
now.
Absolutely. And like I said, I'm going to throw my email in the chat in case anybody would like to connect directly.
Thank you. Please do
Thank
so.
you.
And thanks everyone for joining us on the news briefing this week. Our next briefing is next week, and we'll see you then.